Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Blockcast with your hosts Simon and Will. Will, how are you today, mate?
Doing great, Simon. Really excited about the market. It looks like we're starting to enter a bull. So just looking at new, different, interesting projects to get into. And one of those is Illuvium.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, so Illuvium is another one of the games on the blockchain. A bit different, I guess, to Zrun, definitely, that we covered previous week. It's Pokemon on steroids is what it's trying to be here. And I guess the thing that excites me about it is that, you know, the previous genres of games have been, I use the word crap. They haven't been addictive gameplays. They've just been people trying to figure out how to gamify it to make the most money out of it. I think Illuvium is going in the right direction, and they're saying, we're going to try and make a game that's fun, that's addictive, that's beautiful to look at. Like, the graphics on it are incredible compared to anything I've seen that's been a blockchain game. So they're going, here's a game that you want to play, and it's incorporated blockchain technology.
And I think what's really interesting about it is that it's another use case for NFTs. So we talked about this in the last episode where NFTs were previously just photos. Now we're talking about amazing, beautifully rendered graphics in a massively multiplayer online RPG game. I think that's pretty big, right?
Absolutely is. Absolutely. And I think it goes back to, you know, NFTs will be used by everyone without really knowing they're using it. And that's absolutely what's going on here, because in this game, obviously, you know, the Illuvials, which are the fighting creatures that you have, they're all NFTs. The weapons that you can get are NFTs. The upgrades you can do, the resources, all this stuff is NFTs. So the gameplay has built NFTs into so many aspects of it that, you know, it's hard to, you know, see how people didn't make games like this before once you kind of start getting used to this idea of ownership of the resources and the time we put into a game.
So before we get into the NFTs and the weapons and everything, what is the premise of Illuvium? Could you give us a quick rundown of it?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as I said, I think it's Pokemon on steroids. But basically it's go around in this huge 3D, beautiful graphic designed world, collecting Illuvials, so you can capture them, train them, you can blend them together. It's got the same kind of things as Pokemon, where you've got the different types of animals. You've got nature, fire, earth, water, all those kind of things. You can start blending rare ones with unrare ones, and you can breed different types of Illuvials for different fighting, basically. And then there's an element of resources. You need to collect certain different resources in order to upgrade armors and, you know, get different weapons. So they're adding all sorts of different levels of gameplay to it, and obviously how the different Illuvials fight each other. You know, there's pros and cons between fighting them. So gameplay-wise, they've added a lot of the different ideas on how you got to strategize and actually, you know, do well in the game.
That sounds really cool. You said it's like Pokemon on steroids, and I do agree with that. In that, from what I understand, it's you go around, you're collecting all of these little different kinds of creatures called Illuvials, and you're also collecting power-ups and weapons for them and so on. And I think it's also similar to a game that I really used to like. I used to play years back called Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a trading card game. And essentially, it was an arena game where you collected different cards, different types there, and you could merge them and you could give them power-ups and everything. They had all of these affinities. So let's say fire, water, earth. So depending on the arena that you're playing your character in, you know, you had extra powers. And so it sounds like a fusion between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they're throwing in the whole idea of NFTs, and you can collect all of these items in this really amazing exotic planet. To top it off, it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, so you can battle between people, and I think they're going to build into it that you can actually wager against people, so you can bet against the other person when you're fighting them. So just adding that, look, I guess, gambling element to it as well. I think that's in the white paper. I'm not sure about how far they've got in implementing it. The game's currently only in beta, so they're still testing it. And I think that's an exciting point in the market to a degree as well for it. Like, it's in beta testing, but the Illuvium has been around for a while. They had, you know, their seed rounding phase, you know, 2020, I think. So the company's been building quite some time now. They're in beta phase, which, you know, I think is really interesting because they're going to be releasing this game towards the start of the bull market. I think, you know, late 2023 is what I kind of heard in the Discord, is what people are whispering about.
That's really amazing. I can't wait to be able to trade items and kick ass, you know.
It is kind of that game, and the interesting thing, you know, they've added a different, you know, elements of it. You can also go and buy land, so it is also like a metaverse where you can buy land, and within that metaverse, you can, you know, you build buildings which create resources as well. So again, it's it does have that play to earn element in, you know, the land ownership of the land and creating resources. It's got the earn element when you can go and find alluvials yourself and morph them together and train them up and then go and sell them on the open market. So again, it's rewarding players who play the game a lot to actually make more money from it, you know. And the making money part is not the primary point of the game. The primary point of the game is it's fun. But when you start sharing that revenue with the people, that's, you know, what makes it different and unique to other games that are out there.
Oh yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, there's other games out there, RPGs, not necessarily blockchain games, and they have all of these different characters. But the thing is, it takes time to create powerful characters. You have to grind, you have to, collect different power-ups of them and everything. And what happens is that you actually have people specializing. Some people just essentially create characters, beef them up, and then sell them to other people. So it becomes an internal economy. Yeah,
exactly right, mate. And I think that's that, you know, comparing to non-blockchain games, I think this is the unique point of difference the blockchain game is going to have. If you've got a game that you really love and you spent hours and hours, probably, you know, days and days worth of gameplay on the game, at the end of the game, you just walk away from it. Well, with blockchain technology games like this one, you could spend those hours on this game. At the end of it, you're going, I've had enough of this game, but now I'm going to sell all my NFTs and actually get some money back from it. So that, you know, is really enticing for people to say it's a really fun game. And then at the end of the day, I can still actually, you know, get some money back out of this.
That makes a lot of sense. And you might even be able to port your NFTs in the future. So maybe use it as a profile or use it in another game.
Yeah, that's going well past just Illuvium, but people have always talked about the idea of, you know, transferring these NFTs from game to game. And, you know, maybe that is a thing in the future. It's kind of, you know, a talked about thing about NFTs in gaming, but it's not something that I've seen anybody actually trying to develop just yet. But it would definitely be an incentive for people to stay within, you know, that world if multiple games get built and you can transfer your experience over into those other games.
And how do the makers of Illuvium essentially earn a profit from this? Is there a token, number one? Are there fees?
Yeah, so far, I mean, predominantly most of the money's come from the seed rounds of selling off the original tokens. So they've got plenty of funding there from their VCs, basically. They then did a land sale for their metaverse. So that, again, gave them big funding. And yes, I'm sure, I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure they're clipping some of the fees that exist when you trade Illuviums and things like that. So they've probably got that recurring revenue stream. And, you know, I guess we're not gamers here, so we're here to talk about crypto. So the Illuvium token that exists, and this is, I guess, the thing I don't like about it as much, is that I'm not the biggest of fans of just DAO tokens, and the Illuvium token is that. It's just a governance token. So it allows you to vote on the direction of the game. And to me right now, that's kind of a moot point because it's been developed by the guys who created the game. And so how much voting is actually going on? I haven't looked, but I'm assuming there is almost zero voting going on that token right now. So right now, the Illuvium token is a governance token. A lot of it is held by the VCs who got in early, but it is available for people to purchase. And I guess talking about, you know, investment and what's your return on investment, this is a good one on this one, though, because the token is down like 95% from its all-time high. Most altcoins had that. So I think it was like $1,900 and it's down to like $90 now. It's a 95% drawdown. But that was based on a promise to make a good game. So now they're at beta testing now there is a real actual game in the background. Now, I was at the crypto conference, the Gold Coast. They had it on display there. I got to play around and walk around the world for a bit. And the thing is, like, the graphics are, you know, pretty impressive on it. So now they're actually going to release a game in the not too distant future on a token that's down 95%. So that to me is, you know, a reasonable, you know, potential ROI you're looking at here, is that something that's down 95% from its all-time high from a promise to something's down 95% and now they're delivering the game. There's good potential there.
Definitely something to look at, especially when you consider the crypto J curve. They say that a lot of projects start off really high where the community, I think, has expectations in terms of delivery, then the community loses hope. So obviously the token goes down. And then guess what? The team delivers and then the token goes up again and it looks like a J. So this could be one of those projects that might be interesting to get into and, you know, hopefully profit come the bull market.
Yeah, is that J curve, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that crypto project related or is that crypto market cycle related? Because a lot of these projects get born in the bull, huge hype, and then obviously crash in the bear, and then you find out which ones actually have something reasonable and enough funding to actually build what they wanted. So I guess in Illuvium's case, they have the funding, they are still building, they're in beta testing, they did a land sale to obviously get some more money coming in, so they're building as they go here.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think, like you said, they've been building through the bear, and that gives credence to their dedication. You know, not a lot of projects survive the bear market. If they've been here since 2020, they've been building through this bear, and like you said, they're in beta. Definitely something exciting to look into.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I'm not sure about though. When I've got the numbers over here, so when it was at its all-time high of $1,900, that gave Illuvium a market cap of $4 billion. So that puts it like the top 20 currently now, if it was that kind of market cap. I don't know what to compare that to. Does a game deserve to be worth $4 billion market cap? I'm not sure. There's no comparison because we haven't got a blockchain game that's kind of done that. What you could compare it to, I guess, is traditional games. And, you know, the one that always comes to mind for me, who I used to play a lot, was Grand Theft Auto. So I did a quick look before, and like Grand Theft Auto has brought in like $6 billion worth of revenue. So $6 billion of revenue for a game that is obviously owned just by the studio that developed it, versus a blockchain game that's got a $4 billion market cap. So that makes me go, maybe it shouldn't be worth $4 billion. Maybe getting back to its all-time high is actually not achievable.
Yeah, but then, you know, markets do tend to get a little bit irrational during both bull and bear cycles. So who knows, it could hit that target again. I'm quite surprised that it actually ever hit that target. So that's definitely something interesting.
Yeah, and that's crypto bull market hype, isn't it? As I said, I think the last cycle was the last one we see that kind of craziness, because I think now people expect a product before they start getting crazy prices. So as I said, I think the game has the potential to actually break the mold of actually being a game that people just want to play, and then there's blockchain technology added to it.
Definitely something exciting. Well, I guess that is our project for this week. Until next time, Simon.
Cool. Thanks, Will.
Bye.